Hey, what's going on, Knuckles family? It's RL Knuckles here to give you Knuckles Family and Friends, episode 3 of the podcast. And this week, once again, I have a special guest with me. I think right now I'm starting to have guests in each episode now, so it's good to have a guest. So I'm not like I'm talking to myself. So I got my good family friend Corey. He is Jesse's brother. So if you remember, Jesse's in episode 2 of my podcast. Now I got his little brother. Well, now he's growing up. He's growing up now. So like it's still a little brother, but he's still a grown up now, which is still crazy to see that. So Corey, say hi to all the lovely people that's probably going to be listening to your lovely voice.
Hello, all of the lovely people that are probably going to be listening to my lovely voice.
Yeah, so just like Jesse's been family to me, Corey's been family to me as well. So like I said, me, just like Jesse, me and Corey go way back, like decades. And you know, we're still being nerds, we're still loving video games. Like that's been our thing from the beginning of time, I would say. From the beginning. You would agree with that too, I would assume.
Oh, yeah, I mean, you're one of the people I've known in my life for the longest. Like, I literally cannot think of a time where you weren't a part of my life.
Mm. No, like I said, we known each other for like a long time, so it's definitely like it's actually a legit friendship, guys. Not like when you have those business acquaintances. I know there's like a real friendship. Despite many times when Corey would annoy us when he was younger, annoy the crap out of us. Like, oh my god, I wanted to like kill this kid sometimes, but that's classic little brother things and whatnot. So like
Dude,
we look back at it and we laugh at it.
I just want to play One Piece. I swear, just one round of One Piece.
Oh Jesus. You're you got your mom screaming, like, oh my god. But hey,
Well, I don't know if I've ever said this before, but I do apologize for the way that I was as a kid. Is
oh, it's all
I was
good,
kind
man.
of a brat.
No, it's all shoot. I was a little bit the same way when I was that age as well too. Like my one cousin, where I wouldn't say harass him, but like I always wanted to play video games at his house like all the time. Like I don't know how, but he had like almost every video game. Like this is like back in like Dreamcast. He had like PS2, Dreamcast. Like he had a lot of games. I
Hmm.
look back at it now and I'm like, bro, how did he get all these games? Like, because I don't at the time you couldn't trade in games yet. Like he had a lot of games. Like hell, he was the first person that had Marvel vs. Capcom 2. That's when I played at his house for the first time, and I couldn't stop playing that game. Like I was obsessed with that game. But he had like literally almost every game that you could think of. Like he was almost like the arcade, pretty much to me. He was the arcade, and I know
Hmm.
it annoyed the hell out of him when I kept on playing this shit. I would have been annoyed too. I would. I would too. But yeah, so guys, we have a decent amount of stuff to talk about. It's not a whole lot of it's not a whole lot of what happened this past weekend, well, this past week. But before we get into the our topics, and Corey, you're probably not gonna notice. I want to say R.I.P. to Pop Smoke. He's a Brooklyn rapper, and his album came out this past Friday called Shoot for the Stars, Aim for the Moon, and it's a pretty decent album. Not grand. It takes some time before you can actually review a full blown out album, but it's very good. And it's just the sad part is the guy is not around to see it, and it's like I said, it's truly heartbreaking, but it is a good album. I just regret not listening to this guy earlier because I hate when you're like when you hear about an artist or anybody when they die, it's like, oh, then you start becoming a fan. Like I always knew the rapper, always heard his voice, but I never like really fully like listened to his music. Like his music was hot, but I was just like, I just wasn't, I just didn't have the time to listen to it. But they're just so support and whatnot. And I definitely listen to the album, and it's a good album. I just like I said, I regret not listening to this guy earlier. But anyways, R.I.P. to Pop Smoke. I say you probably don't know who he is, but like I say, he's a rapper, young rapper. He died at the age of 20, so I mean, he died young, so it's a sad situation. But
Yeah,
anyway,
I mean, I'm not super familiar, but it's still a shame to have any kind of talent in any kind of industry pass away, especially when they're so young.
Exactly. It is. So it's like I said, RIP to Pot Smoke. Now, one of the biggest things that's been going on for the past couple of days, well, two of them are like two or two of the same. Well, my favorite genre of my favorite genre of games are fighting games. That's my favorite genre. What's your Corey? Would you say that's your favorite, or do you have another favorite genre?
No, I would probably say fighting games are my favorite genre as well.
Okay,
I
and
wouldn't say I play them quite as much as you do, but I
yeah,
still like have a very strong love for those games.
yeah, I did too. I think Street Fighter Two was like the start of it right there. Now, Grant, I think it was quite some time. I think when I got to like maybe my 20, when I was 20 or 19, that's when I'm like, yo, fighting games are like that's my favorite genre. Now, with whole COVID going on, well, the biggest fighting game in the world, Evo, is canceled. Now before it was canceled, it was when the whole COVID thing came, it said they're going to do online tournaments, and I was saying to myself, I don't think that's not gonna work. I mean, it might work for some games, but Smash Brothers, well, granted, I played Smash Brothers yesterday online with a couple of people. It wasn't that bad, but still wasn't great either. So I think then again, Smash Brothers was taken off the list, I believe.
Yes, it was.
It was taken off the list. Killer Instinct was put back on the list, and from what I've heard, like I said, I don't have an Xbox One, but that'd be one of the games I would get. But I heard the Killer Instinct Online is like great. Like anything made through Iron Galaxy, the online is legit great. Like I mean, there's no thing is perfect, but it almost seem like it's perfect.
I believe Killer Instinct uses rollback net play, which I'm not super familiar on the differences between like the technical side of the difference between rollback and delay based. But from what I understand, rollback is like basically what the future of fighting game online play should be, and
Yeah,
Killer Instinct has it. And I believe like the majority of the if not all of the games that you could join for Evo Online, like as a public person, were all rollback net play based.
yeah. No, that's true. That's true. Yeah, like I said, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know too much on the online thing, but the thing is, for me, it's like as long as it's good, that's all I really like care about. So the other games were Tekken 7. That game has a okay netcode. Under Night. Um, I've had a few good connections. Granted, like no one really plays Under Night online, so I really can't say too much on the online. Dragon Ball Fighters, I heard has a ant online. Soul Calibur 6, the online is from what I heard okay. Like I said, correct me if I'm wrong about this, but I'm just going from what other people have said. Street Fighter 5, I had decent netcode with that, so I don't want to say it's terrible. Samurai Showdown, um, I don't know too much on that one. That one I heard was like okay. Like I said, all the connection was like okay in all these games. Like Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, I played a couple matches online. I've had a few good and a few bad. But Mortal Kombat online's pretty good. 11, that's good. Killer Instinct, as I said, that's a pretty good one. Skullgirls Encore, I've never played online on that game. Have you?
I have, and I've almost never had a bad connection in that game. I don't honestly, I don't think I ever have had issues, but I've never I should say I've never really played against people like just random people online. I've only ever played it with my friends who live at most an hour away. So that could have an effect on how good the connection was, but as far
Mhm.
as I know, I've never had a bad situation with it.
That's good. And then there's Dem's Fighting Herds. I never played it. It's that pony game, right?
Yes. Basically all of the characters are exact clones of what they were in the beta for the Pony fighting game back when the alpha released was leaked for the game, they're basically all 1-to-1. Like I went through and just played all of the characters in the the training mode, and I could easily sniff out which character was which.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I never played it. Like I said, it looked interesting, but I never really played it. So yeah, so those.
It's it's good, but my issue with it is that it doesn't seem good enough for me to play over anything else. Like
Okay.
back when I used to be a huge brony. I'm not anymore, but like at least for me, back when the alpha build of the My Little Pony fighting game was leaked, like the draw for it was I was playing a fighting game with characters that I loved. But now that it's just like random characters, it like I don't know, it's good, but there's no reason to play it over Skullgirls.
Yeah, no, that's the problem with having too many fighting games. You just can't find to pick which one you want to play. Like I say, if it doesn't hold up to the others, it's like okay, bye, you know. But like
Yeah.
out of the games, so if even were to happen, the one games I was excited to watch was Skullgirls. Cause I feel as though that game is not getting enough credit. Granted, because it's an indie fighting game, so that's what
Hmm.
happens. Killer Instinct, I was very excited to see. Samurai Showdown. That I watched the top 8 for that game last year. That was really good. Like I don't like. I feel as though Samurai Showdown and Soul Calibur 6, the games that were not on Sunday, were not part of the Sunday matchup. Those top 8 games were very very good. Like yeah, top 8. They were very very good. Like I don't think they get
Hmm.
enough credit. Now, listen, the other games were great too, but I just feel as though like they were better than like Samurai Shodown and Soul Calibur 6. It was a lot better to watch those than watching Blaze Blue Cross well that Sunday. Hell, it was even better watching the Street Fighter 5. I'm gonna say that it was better than watching Street Fighter 5. Do we know how Evo and Street Fighter are like a big thing? Like I I know it's saying a lot, but I feel as though Samurai Showdown and Soul Calibur 6, the way how that top 8 was, it might have been better at Sunday. I truly believe that. I truly, truly believe that.
I mean, from my experience watching Evo games, I've always just enjoyed the side. I guess like the Saturday tier games more than I enjoy the Sunday tier games. Like I guess better way of putting it would be like the games that aren't Street Fighter and Tekken and Smash Ultimate.
Yeah.
Uh, I've enjoyed watching those for the most part.
Tekken 7 is a good watch. And I will say this. When I was at Evo last year, granted Smash Bros. Ultimate was about to show. I wanted to watch it, but I had to leave because I had to get ready to go somewhere. But we'll say when that thing was starting, people were leaving. I kind of felt bad because I just felt as though Smash was getting the respect it deserves. But then the last it was just sad to see people leave on the main event. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
yeah.
I don't think Smash will ever properly get the respect that it deserves, but at the same time, I'm not 100% sure if Smash 100% deserves it. Like, I think the game at its core deserves it, but I feel like the community can be a tad bit toxic at times, and it's
Well, we'll talk about being toxic in a few, and
yeah,
we'll get into
yeah.
that later a little bit. But before we get to toxic, well, as you know, fighting game fans, Evo has been canceled due to um the co-founder Joey Cellular has been accused of sexual misconduct. Now, I've always been the type of guy that says, okay, let's see what the results are. Like, I don't want to just because you hear at first glance means, oh, he's automatically guilty. You know what I mean? Like, I want to see due process, as I think everyone should. But he admits that he hates something he's not proud of, so he's admitted to it. Now, I'm not gonna say look into like how, when this all happened, why it's all happening now, but I mean that was part of his past life. Like he knew, like he knew that he did something. Now, granted, I always said this. When somebody, granted, I have no idea. I haven't done anything sexual. I've not done anything illegally, and I have not done anything crazy. But it's like, you say you're not proud of this now when it's being revealed. It's like, are you saying it now because you're not getting heat, or do you truly feel sorry? You know what I mean? That's always been, my thing with people saying they apologize when the heats get on them. Like, it's frustrating, but I mean, like I said, he admits it, so we know that it's true. So because now we had Nintendo wanting to get away from them, NetherRealm want to know part of it. So with all that happening, it's like, yo, you got to cancel it. Like all these other companies don't want anything to do with you this year, so it's like it was gonna happen. Like it was bound to happen. So it sucks because not only was I looking forward to the games, I grad, I do feel as though the online would have been it would have been rough, but the announcements that we were gonna get would have been awesome. Like I felt as though we were gonna maybe I'll hold on to false hope, but I felt as though we were gonna get a new Marvel vs. Capcom game because originally MVC2 was part of the lineup, but now since the whole change to online, they took it out of it. So it's like the fact that they're gonna bring an old game to Evo, you knew something was gonna happen. Like you knew that they were gonna announce some type of new Marvel game. We're hoping so, unless they were probably gonna troll us because Capcom loves trolling people. But anyways, I mean, like I said, it sucks, but it's the right thing for them to cancel it with everything going on.
Hmm.
So you tell me what your thoughts are, because I don't know if you're looking forward to Evo as well this year with the whole online thing. Maybe you might have a different take than what I had.
So I could be wrong about this, but my understanding with Evo was that the main games that hold on, let me pull up the Evo 2020 lineup so I'm not uh you know I can get this at least somewhat right. So the main games like Dragon Ball Fighters and Grand Blue Fantasy, Soul Calibur, Samurai Showdown, Street Fighter, Tekken, and Under Night were all supposed to be like special exhibition match games. So it was like basically only invitational, whereas Killer Instinct, Mortal Kombat, Skullgirls, and them's Fighting Herds were the ones that
They were the
like
open
anyone
online.
could actually join.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I feel like especially considering like a lot of top players come from Japan, net play on the the big games probably wasn't going to be good, and we were probably going to run into a lot of issues.
Oh yeah,
I
that
think that's one of the big reasons why I'm kind of happy Smash ended up being removed from the main lineup,
I
because
was
that
happy
was
too. I was happy too. As much as I love Smash Brothers, I'm like, yeah, this is not gonna work.
yeah, that would have been an utter travesty if we tried getting like the players from all over the world trying to play in one tournament. Uh, so I don't know. I feel like we'd probably eventually run into issues of connections and whatnot, which would have made the main games not super fun to watch. But I would have loved to watch Skullgirls finally get the Evo that it deserves.
Oh yeah.
Uh, and I mean, I'm down for any like smaller games getting a spot. So even though I'm not like a super big fan of them fighting herds, I still think it's absolutely awesome that they were finally giving a time to shine.
Yeah, you want the
Uh,
recognition, yeah.
but to be honest, I've kind of like I think Under Night probably would have been the only game that I paid attention to. Maybe Dragon Ball Fighters as well. I think Dragon Ball Fighters is a phenomenal game, but personally, I'm not that big of a fan of Dragon Ball as a
It gets
series. So
it gets fun. Like I say, as a fan of the series, especially when grant, is it fun to watch at tournaments? Absolutely, but I just feel as though what the problem with me Dragon Ball Fight is like one combo can take so much of your health away. Like almost like we're in the new generation of fighting games where it's like one combo takes so much freaking out. You can't really break combos either in that game.
mhm.
So that's like that annoys me. As much as I love the game, that can annoy me. That's why I don't try to be super competitive. And again, because I just feel as though I'm gonna get frustrated playing that game.
Yeah, I love games that have longer combos, but I think it's imperative that they have some kind of combo breaker in them.
Yes.
Uh, and that was one of my frustrations with Dragon Ball Fighters was the burst to it didn't really work properly as a burst. It was more of like a comeback mechanic.
Yeah. If they had a combo breaker, there'd be like a different story. That was the big thing of what I kept saying in Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Like the only way for you to break a combo is that they were trying to like doing an error exchange and you counter them. That's it. Other than that, the Marvel 3, it's like literally you can kill somebody in one combo.
Yeah, and honestly, as far as I've watched of top play in Marvel vs. Capcom 3, there's not really like aerial crossover combos. It's mostly you stick with one character and extend the combo by using an assist. So that
Yep.
from what I've watched of Marvel vs. Capcom 3, it's really just whoever gets the first hit. As long
Yep.
as they don't drop their combo, they win.
Yeah. Like honestly, I have more fun watching it than playing it. And that's a sad thing to
Absolutely.
say. That's a sad thing to say. I mean, me being a Marvel fan, that's a sad thing to say.
Hmm.
But yeah, like honestly, despite the rape allegations by Joey, I'm kind of low key a little bit glad that Evo was canceled this year because I just feel as though we were kind of running into too many problems because they never done this before. Like I understand you want to have an Evo, but Evo online is just going to be way too much like connections. Oh, you could do a button check. Like I just can't see them not having run not run. Like you could run into problems, but I just feel like you're gonna run into a lot of problems, like a
Hmm.
lot. So I just now, granted, if you do, I follow Team Spooky on YouTube. They have been posting some online matches, and that's good. But I mean, they're up in the East Coast and everything now, so worldwide. Especially when you said a lot of good players are from Japan. You think you're gonna be able to? You think you're gonna get smooth connection from someone playing in Japan? You have a better shot playing Mario Kart against people in the world. You have a better shot at that
Hmm.
than playing it through a fighting game. So like I said, by all means, what Joey did was inexcusable. I am not defending that whatsoever. And I feel so Cummins did the right thing. Like, hey, saying, hey, as of right now, we don't want to be associated with you guys right now after everything that's going on. So due process. Let's see what happens. So, like I said, you have to cancel it. There's no way of getting out of this. There's no way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And speaking of rape allegations, we get to our next topic. And I didn't know about this until like I found out about this after the whole thing, and that's there's some rape allegations in the Smash Bros. Community. Now, granted, I do watch tournaments, but I don't really know the big time players in Smash Brothers. It's not like I follow it that much. Do you know a lot of the top players in the community?
I'm less familiar with the top players of Smash Ultimate, but I knew at least so of the article that you sent me, I was at least aware of one person per allegation that it covered. I'm more familiar with like the Melee community,
Uh
but I still have like a decent amount knowledge of the Smash community or the Smash Ultimate community.
mhm. Now, before we, like I said, as I told you guys, there's it's the top players like for the Smash Bros have been accused of rape allegations. Now, before I get into that, now Corey, you said that the Smash Brothers communities, in a way, kind of toxic. Toxic. Now, explain that for people who don't know, because like I said, I don't really follow the Smash Bros. Community. I just like watching the tournaments. I didn't really like go into detail, be like, okay, this person did that, this person likes that. Like I would say I follow more into Marvel's players, but like I said, explain to me, and for people that don't know, like why do you think that the Smash Bros. Community is a bit toxic? Not a bit toxic, but like is toxic.
I feel like a lot of it comes from elitism of like thinking like, oh, our community is better than X community. And I feel like that could be an issue with a lot of fighting game communities, especially like I know the Street Fighter community has a lot of elitism of like
Oh
we're
yeah.
better than other communities, but I feel like Smash Ultimate or the Smash community gets the worst of it, not just because the Smash community is kind of mocked because oh Smash isn't a fighting game or something like that, but also the Smash community is divided between two games, between Smash Ultimate and Melee.
Yeah, that I
Um,
definitely know. Yeah, but even before that, it was people that it was merely against the Wii U one. So it was always people were against one or the other, and I hated that. I just wish they all got together and still loved the game. But I'm sorry to cut you off though.
no, that's cool. Um, so yeah, I I feel like a lot of it comes from elitism as like the starting mentality, and then as far as like I've personally interacted with the Smash community, it still feels like a lot of people in it have this idea that they're better than others, not just better than other fighting game communities, but just better, like singular people are better than others. So one of the worst situations I had with the Smash communities, I went to a local Project M tournament, and I had people trying to kick me off of my match, like tournament match. I was put up against one of my friends, and they tried to kick me off of the tournament match because they didn't think that me and my friend were playing well. So they're just like, you guys just get off your match. It doesn't matter. You guys aren't good.
Dang,
Um,
that's messed up. So the fact that you're not like a pro player, they want to kick you out.
Yes. A lot of the Smash community is very, very critical of watching other people. Um, and if you are not performing up to the standard that they think you should be performing at, they're like, don't even bother playing. Just get out of here. You're not good.
Jeez, that's messed up. Like, see, that's like, yeah, I can see why you say it's toxic. That's like, yeah, how do I say this? It's like saying this, trying to say that you're not worthy of being part of this. You have to be good. Like that's see, that's what will make you want to be turn you away from a community. If you're gonna treat people like that, what makes you think other people are gonna want to join? And now that, not the piggyback on what you just said, I'm not sure if it was you or Mason that sent that video, but remember when it was from Mighty Keith when it was during the whole it was the Smashers where you found the two people were playing as Bayonetta and they were doing like nothing the whole entire time. Because from what I heard is that clearly Bayonetta was top tier at Smash Bros. Wii U. I heard a lot of people didn't like that. So
Hmm.
I feel as though the guys that were in the finals were kind of like trolling there. People be like, "Hey, you guys are talking mad about us playing Bayonetta, so we're gonna annoy you guys even more." And that's kind of part of it. And that's kind of part of the reason why a lot of people don't like the Smash community. Now, I do believe there are good people out there, but the good people, the bad people, always outshine because it's the most attention that they like to give out. Because like I said, I was playing Smash Brothers online yesterday, and there were some cool ass people. We didn't say like we weren't great. We weren't like tournament players, but we still had a lot of fun. Whereas you saying that, with the whole Project M thing, it's like that's just hard because just because I'm not good compared to everyone else means I can't have my match. Like you made this open to everyone. So there hasn't if you're making an open tournament, there shouldn't be requirements to be like, hey, I had to be this good or this that and the third to be part of the tournament. That's whack to me. That's stupid.
Yeah, I mean, and it definitely doesn't help because, like, I didn't go to any tournaments for any fighting games for quite some time after that situation happened because I have social anxiety as it is. I already struggle with getting myself out of the house and going to spend time with a bunch of people that I don't really know. And
Yeah.
so, like, that situation stopped me from going to any tournaments for
Mm.
quite a long time.
Yeah, I mean that's really unfortunate. Now with this whole rape allegations from like all these popular players, like this one, like I said, Centipede. I don't know if I pronounce her name. Narrow, like I'm like all this dirty stuff is coming out. And like I said, I do want to like I said, due process. Let's see what happens. Because I said, just because I hear it first doesn't mean I want to like assume and think this person's already guilty. But even if they're not guilty, it's like you're still it still has that that history. You know what I mean? Like I hope, like I said, if these allegations turn out to be false, I hope these people do get their life back. But man, like it's not good. Like it's not a good moment for fighting games, especially in Smash Bros. Right now, because you already said a lot of people don't really like the community already. This already possibly like be like, see, told you this community is not great. It just adds more fuel to the fire almost.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know, for me, it's like a tough situation because I absolutely 100% want to be on the side of the victims in this case.
Yeah,
Um, but uh, I want to be on their side, but I also believe that people are innocent until proven guilty. So it's like, I don't know. I believe all of the people who say that they've been victimized in any kind of way, and I want the people to be testified
yeah.
and proven that they are guilty.
Yeah, I definitely believe so, Terry. I agree with you. Listen, it's a very unfortunate situation for the fighting game community. It definitely takes a hit on that, and my heart goes out to the people that were involved in this. So as time will go on, and like I said, there will be investigation. You know what I mean? You don't want this to show the bitter sugars of what your community is, because that's not what fighting. That's not what video game communities are. We're way better than that. So I said, I hope so that something good does happen towards the end of this. So yeah, so that's been that's our talk with the whole fighting game community. Now on to some lighter news for you guys. Now I'm not. Are you a Harry Potter fan, Corey? Or are you like you watch movies and be like you like them, but you're not like a super fan? Because I like Harry Potter, but I'm not like a super fan of them.
I wouldn't even say that I just actively do not enjoy Harry Potter.
Yeah,
Um, I will give respect to the people who do, because I know Jesse's a big Harry Potter fan. One
that's
of my
true.
best friends is a big Harry Potter fan. I have never really been a fan myself.
It's not
I
your thing.
tried reading the. I'm sorry.
It's just not your thing.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not your thing. So, what did you think about the Harry Potter RPG? Because when I heard about, it, I'm like, okay, that's interesting. You know what I mean? Like an RPG game from Harry Potter. Now the thing is it a free to game? Is it a free to play game? Like, because if it's a free to play game, it's like okay, I'm not expecting a whole lot. But excuse me, as of right now, it's open world. Like I said, RPG open world, and I feel as though RPG and Harry Potter it kind of goes together. Like I said, I like Harry Potter. I'm not a big fan of it, but I feel as though Harry Potter and RPG, like magic and all that type of stuff. That I think that fits. Now the thing is, will it sell? I mean, you have Harry Potter, so I mean, I think it will sell because I don't think Harry Potter has many good video games that have been out. As far as I know, like I said, I haven't played them, so I can't really say. But like, I haven't seen a whole lot of people say, "Oh, did you play this Harry Potter game? This game's sick. This game's sick." I haven't heard good things about either Harry Potter game. So, correct if I'm wrong. Have you know anybody that says there's a good Harry Potter game out there?
I have one of my best friends is super, super fixated on Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets for PC. And he like that game is a piece of crap, and he will absolutely admit to the fact that it's a piece of crap, but it was the game that he grew up playing, so he remembers it super, super fondly. But as far as I'm aware, there's no like genuinely good, there's no like Spider-Man 2 game for the Harry Potter series.
Yeah, I think that Chamber of Secrets game you're talking about was during the whole GameCube, Xbox, and PS2 era. So
It was at the very end of that era because it had a PlayStation 1 port as well, but I think the PlayStation 1 port was like kind of a downgrade.
really,
But at least, yeah, I don't think it was like the same game as the one for GameCube and PlayStation 2 and that generation of consoles.
yeah.
Um, I think it was like slightly different, but it at least had a game for the PlayStation 1.
Oh, right. I didn't know about that. I mean, yeah, that's like I said, that proves my point right there. There's not been a good Harry Potter game now. I said hearing this leak about the whole RPG open world thing, I think that can work. The only thing is, I'm not sure. Let me see. Is this? I'm trying to read this article right now to see who's making this. Because here's the, I had notes written down, but I forgot it at work.
So,
Let's see.
so as far as the article that you sent me, it didn't actually say who's making it. It only confirmed that Rocksteady is not
Not
making
the
the game.
yeah. Here it's by It says the project may be developed by British studio Rocksteady Games, which is also owned by Warner Brothers. However, sources at Rocksteady confirmed to Eurogamer that this is not the case. So we don't really know of so I guess we really don't know who's making the game at this point. Then all we just know is it's supposed to be coming out late 2021. Probably coming out to the PS5 and Xbox Series X. Like I said, this game can possibly do well because of the name. When you have a name of Harry Potter, especially in this generation now, when everyone's playing online together. Now the only thing is, this generation of kids right now, like the young generation, I don't think they really know Harry Potter. I think Harry Potter now is like people around our age, they know Harry Potter. Like I said, if people at the age of like 16 and younger, they're not going to know much about Harry Potter. So hell, the younger generation might not even play this game for all we know. So this game could potentially flop.
I feel like it would, um, though. From I have a little bit of interaction with younger people, and like say the 5 people that I interact with that are 16 and younger, one of them is a Harry Potter fan, but that's because she's very close to her aunt who is my age, and her aunt got her into Harry Potter. I feel like if they were to have made a Harry Potter game that would have been geared towards our generation, then it probably would at least sell well. But if it's geared towards like a younger generation, I can't see it selling well.
Yeah, it has to go into like our generation. Because here's the thing, right? Like, I was on the last episode. I know you're not going to get this game, but I was telling Jesse that the Avengers game that's coming out later this fall, I feel as though that game will sell just due to the name, especially the fact Marvel's the hottest thing out right now, whereas
Hmm.
Harry Potter, we haven't had a movie in the last movie was what was the last movie that was legit,
Deathly Hollows Part 2.
and that was back in like 2010, right?
2011.
But almost a decade.
I
So we
mean, by the time this game comes out, it'll have been a decade.
yeah, but been a decade. So it's like, cause I know I keep hearing that they are making new Harry Potter movies, but it's like you haven't made a new one in like 10 years. So like I don't like I said, I don't, especially this generation. I don't see it piquing interest to them. It's just not. Let's say if it's leaning towards our older crowd, then possibly. And plus, are they trying to make this an only fans, like not the thing only fans, but it's only be
A fan service.
yeah, yes, yeah, it's gonna be a fan service game where you're trying to get like other people outside the fan of the series to join in. Like that's the question I'm wondering for, and I kind of I want it. Well, obviously, I feel as though all game companies want it to be outside the original fan base, but I just don't see it. Like I hope this game doesn't fly because I feel as though a Harry Potter game and RPG open world would be great, but who's gonna be interested in it? Because like I said, we haven't seen any Harry Potter stuff in almost the past decade. No toys, no movies, no TV series. I mean, granted, they're getting books, but I mean, no disrespect to the novel, but I don't think anyone's paying attention to that. So Jesse, I know your brother Jesse would be interested in this game. Well, maybe not. He's not sure. He might be maybe skeptical about this.
I think the biggest hurdle that this game is going to have to face is the stigma that any kind of licensed game is bad. Um, I feel like that's going like a lot of people are going to look at this tie-in Harry Potter game and just be like, oh, it's just another movie or book tie-in game. It's not going to be all that good. Now, if these people who are making it really are good at what they're doing and really have a love for the series, I feel like this game could turn out to be good. So if this is like something along the lines of like CD Projekt Red working on it, now obviously I don't think CD Projekt Red is going to be doing this,
No.
but they're a company that took a book property in The Witcher and put a ton of love and care into making those games, and eventually came out with The Witcher 3, which is an utterly phenomenal game. If we can get someone who has a love and care for the Harry Potter series and is pretty good at making games, I feel like this could be pretty good. Like if we could get BioWare in their heyday, not current BioWare, but like BioWare back when they made like Mass Effect 2, I feel like they could have made a really cool Harry Potter RPG. But at this point, I can't really think of any game studio that would make a decent Harry Potter game, or at least I can't think of any studio that would be willing to make a Harry Potter game.
Yeah, like this, unless if they know the money's right. I don't know either. I feel so when people think of RPG games, they always think about Square Enix, because they are, in my opinion, I think they are the RPG gods. But I would not see Square Enix touching a game like this to make it. Graham, I know they are making Marvel. I mean, they are making Avengers, but I wouldn't see them touching this game
No.
for Harry Potter.
To be honest, the only company that I can really think of making this game would be like a subsection of Ubisoft that does licensed games, and I don't know. Maybe I'm just overly cynical, but I don't see this game coming out and actually being good. I would at least say like don't ever pre-order a game like this, because this will probably get a lot of attention, and they'll probably try to hype it up as the license game to break the stigma. But until the game comes out and we know that it's good, I don't think it's going to happen.
They want to build the hype. Yeah, they want to build a hype for this game. I want to reserve this game as well. Hell, for all we know, this could be a free to play game, but I don't see that happening. I really don't. But Corey thinks this game is flops. I'm kind of on the edge of leaning towards that too, but I want to see, is it going to be made by, like I said, a pure fan of the series? Is it going to be leaning towards my older generation or the current younger generation? Because I feel so that's going to be, the selling point. Today's generation or the past generation? We'll have to see. But I mean, it is interesting to see, like I said, a new Harry Potter game being announced, and I feel it's an RPG style for that. It works, but like I said, we just don't know. We're skeptical about it at the end of the day. So that's actually no. I want to say this part. I want to say this part for last. So we'll take a little break on the video games part. Now I did send Corey an article. Actor, director, producer Seth Rogen is going to be producing a new Ninja Turtles Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles film and CGI, not the whole realist, not the 90s ones, which honestly, Ninja Turtles 2 Secret of the Ooze, fantastic movie, best Ninja Turtles movie, I think everyone can agree to that. That's the best Ninja Turtles movie out there. And the third one, I forgot what the one they went in time, that was pretty rough. And then they had the CGI one in 2007. I thought that was okay. That was a pretty good movie. Now, the Michael Bay one, anything that Michael Bay touches, he's gonna ruin your childhood. like he's going to ruin your child. He's called. I think he's called a childhood killer. I think Michael Bay is called a childhood killer. I think he's literally called that. So I saw the first Ninja Turtles movie that he made. I watched the bootleg because I was not gonna pay tickets to see that shit. Hell no. But I did hear the second one. I forgot, was it Depths of the Shadows? I don't really know, but I heard that one was actually pretty good. And
I didn't even bother with those movies, to be honest.
those were as in Michael Bay or just all the
Yeah,
other.
the Michael Bay movies.
Okay, yeah, because I'm a Ninja Turtles fan, and remember, I don't know if you knew about this. Originally, he wanted to make the turtles as aliens.
I did know that. I didn't realize that because I didn't follow the movies at all. From what I understood, I thought they were aliens in the movies, and I'm glad to hear that they're not.
Yeah, like you could have made Teenage Aliens, like, and I think he said he didn't want to do that, but then he eventually they changed it to like the actual turtles. And in no disrespect to Megan Fox, she cannot act. She is a terrible actress. Pretty girl, but she is not a good actress. Like, oh my god. But yeah, like that first one was I will watch the second one. I have the time, but I feel as though with Seth Rogen producing this movie, such it be like an animated movie, I feel as though that's good. I have not seen it. I don't know why I haven't, but I haven't seen the Ninja Turtles Nickelodeon series. I haven't meaning to watch that, but I haven't because the last Ninja Turtle series I watched was the one that was on the Fox box years ago. Like
Hmm.
that one, the 2003 series, that I love. That was essentially, like now I was born in '91. The original Ninja Turtles show came out in the '80s, but they still had reruns during the '90s. So it's like I was like I'm not sure what season they were on, but like I grew up watching the '80s series, but then I would say I fully remember the 2003 series where I would remember the '80s series, and then
Yeah.
for some reason I just haven't watched the Nickelodeon one. I would watch that, but I just need to find the time to. But Seth Rogen, I like Seth Rogen. I think he can do a good job in this. It's just like don't go to Michael Bay route. You know what I mean? Like I'm always willing to give people a chance for this produce and make a Ninja Turtles movie because Ninja Turtles are dear to my heart. They are dear to my heart. So like I'm hoping he does a good job with this film. Because it's been a while since we've seen the Ninja Turtles movie. So like hopefully he can do a good job with this. A small thing.
I don't know. I have a different feel for this movie. Just looking at like the three big names tied to it, being Seth Rogen, Evan Goldberg, and James Weaver. That feels like an odd choice of people to make like a somewhat kids movie, or at least like a family oriented action movie. Like these are people known for writing like raunchy adult
Yeah.
comedies, and they're going to be doing a Ninja Turtles movie. Like
The
it's
least
that. Sorry, go ahead.
No, like, I was saying like the least you can do is just make it PG-13 because you can't make an M-rated Ninja Turtles movie. Like much as like I'm almost 29, but the Ninja Turtles movie is meant for kids, and definitely the older generation because the older generation grew up with Ninja Turtles too. But it's never been like some R-rated amateur type of stuff. It's always been a kids version, and like you said with Seth Rogen and all these guys doing this, like okay, how are you going to make this? Is this going to be a rated R movie? Like the most you do is make this PG-13, just because just don't have him curse, just have the action, just don't have him cursing it.
Hmm. And I don't know. It feels weird to say, but even though I think Michael Bay is a terrible director, and I don't like I don't trust him with Ninja Turtles, but I feel like a director who does something like Michael Bay would be good for Ninja Turtles. Or maybe like J.J. Abrams or one of the directors that did the Avengers movies, because I feel like the best route to go for a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie would be something that's a little more on the serious and action side, but has a lot of like comedy sprinkled in with like quips and stuff. And I feel like an Avengers or a Marvel movie feel to a Ninja Turtles movie would be the best route to go. At least that's
Yeah,
what I feel.
that's true. But also, Seth Rogen, he knows his comedy too. Like he's not well, he's not a comedian. Is he a comedian? Well, he's an actor, but he definitely does a lot of funny stuff. So like, I feel like he will definitely bring the funny into it. Now, like I said, the action, I haven't really seen him do like any action stuff. So he is going to, as far as I know, people correct me if I'm wrong on this, but like, has he had any experience to any action things? I don't know. So he's going in unknown territory with this. But like I said, I like his work. Like I'm gonna give him a chance. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I'll say this: you can't do worse than Michael Bay. You can't. If you do worse than Michael Bay, then he's not. He's gonna have a career after this. Don't get me wrong, but it's like it's gonna be like, bruh, really? Like you'll be known for the guy that's like you did worse than Michael Bay.
Hmm. You know what? I just was remembered. Yeah, I was just reminded of a movie that Seth Rogen helped write. Actually, Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg helped write The Green Hornet. And honestly,
Oh, that
was
movie.
aside from the fact that that movie was on the raunchy side, I feel like that's like the perfect like tone and atmosphere for a Ninja Turtles movie.
I didn't see that movie.
I saw it and I loved it, but I was also, God, I saw this in theaters, so
You were a young kid.
I had to be 13 at the time, and I think I just liked it because it was funny and had action. As far as like critical reception, I'm pretty sure everyone hated that movie, but as like I would say in theory, if Seth Rogen can write a good Green Hornet, then I feel like he could do a good Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, if that makes sense.
No, I get what you're saying. Yeah, yeah. So I would agree to that as well. I would agree. So yeah, so he does have a little experience. But back to what you say when you saw a movie as a little kid, it reminds me. I don't mean to change the subject, but it reminds me when I saw the movie Street Fighter for the first time as a kid. I'm like, oh, this movie is so awesome. Years, a decade later, I watched it. I'm like, oh my god, this movie is terrible. It's so
Hmm.
terribly funny though. That's how bad it is. Like I can watch Street Fighter again and just laugh at it. It's one of those movies that's just so bad that you have to laugh.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Same with Mortal Kombat 2. Now the first Mortal Kombat movie, that movie was not bad. Like I don't think it's that bad as what people were saying it was. Like it could have been better, absolutely, but it wasn't bad. The second one, oh my god, oh, terribly funny. Like it was terrible. Like the best person in that movie was Jax. If Jax was not in Mortal Kombat Annihilation, then we would have like been complete shit. Well, it already is complete shit, but like, oh my god, the movie is so funny.
Hmm.
The acting is just, oh my god. There's just movies that are just so bad. You just look back at it and laugh. But yeah, but back to our old main topic. Like I feel as though Sandro can do a good job. He's just gotta get a help. But definitely talk to like the the creators of the series. Like hell, even like ask the fans maybe. Like granted, fans can be a little bit tricky because they can't make it or break it. But I feel so when you touch the fans on it, that could be a good thing when making a movie that's a hugely fan favorite from like decades upon decades. So Seth Rogen, the
Hmm.
balls, the court's in your hands. You can't do a worse job than Michael Bay. You can't. You really can't. If you did,
You have to try to do work.
yeah, keyword. You have to try to do worse than that. You have to try. So our last news we have today is the Xbox Series X. Apparently, they're having a showcase for the first party games happening this month, and apparently it's reported, rumors are that it's taking place July 23rd. So that's towards the end of this month. Now I will say this: I love video games. It doesn't matter. Look, granted, I do have a soft spot for Nintendo because that's what I grew up on. But as of right now, Sony and Nintendo are doing well right now. Microsoft, Xbox One was not like numbers wise. No, it did not do well. There's no games I want on the Xbox One. It might be maybe like only 2 games. Now, Sony had their game reveal about like last month or so, and it was pretty chill. Like, was it anything super? No, but it was a pretty decent showcase. They had a lot of good games that they showed. Now for Xbox, the balls in their hands right now, like not balls, the courts in their hand right now, like they they have to knock this out the park because if this, I understand it's only the first case of showing their first party game because they're granted they already did a showcase with the third generation with their third party games, but they didn't really show us like their first party games. And I feel as though that was definitely the downside of Xbox One. There wasn't really any first party games that got people into buying it. So if they want to, be in the mix with the PS5, they have to do well with this first party showcase. And honestly, I'm going to be honest, I don't think they are. That's not me trying to say that I want Microsoft to fail, but I just don't see how. I don't see how the showcase is gonna like get people to be like, oh snap, I gotta get Xbox One. You know what I mean? Because PS5 did a good job, not the best job, but I did a decent job. But this one right here coming up, I don't know. Like I'm kind of nervous for Microsoft right now. I don't want them to do bad, but you gotta give me a good celebrate for me to get your system.
I do not have any faith in Microsoft right now. Uh, I think the big issue has exclusives, and the things that they market as exclusives are not true exclusives. Uh, Almost every single game that has come out for the Xbox One has also been ported to the PC, and well, and I might be in a situation of privilege because I have a gaming PC, but from that aspect, like, there's no reason for me to get an Xbox One because I have a PC that will just play literally everything that's on the Xbox. The only game that I can think of that is a true, quote-unquote, true Xbox One exclusive is Rare Replay, but Rare Replay is just a re-release of a bunch of older games that I can play on any other console that I have. So like every other game that has been Xbox exclusive, Gears of War, Forza, Halo, or even indie games, or in the Blind Forest, Cuphead, just like games like that, they've all been ported to PC, and I don't really see Microsoft being like, oh, we've been on this trend of porting all of our games to the PC, but we're randomly going to stop. Like, I don't know.
Isn't it arguably visually better on the PC too?
It depends on your hardware. Uh, if we go if we say top of the line PC compared to the inevitable upgrade for Xbox Series X that they inevitably will do, the PC will be better. But if we take like the average, because like not everyone's going to be willing to spend the $1,000 to $2,000 to get a PC that will be better than Xbox Series X.
Yeah.
So if we compare like the average consumer to the average consumer's PC to the Xbox One or Xbox Series X, no, I don't think it's going to look better. But I personally, even if it doesn't look better, I would still personally stick with the PC over the Xbox Series X because the PC has such a large library, and like almost every single game that has come out since like 2000 is playable on a modern PC, whereas the Xbox Series X is going to be able to play current games and I don't even think I've heard of backwards compatibility for that. I could be wrong. Do you?
Nothing yet, and I feel as though that's where the PS5 shines on because now they have backwards compatibility, and now you can actually play it on a better and visually better looking screen right there. So that's
Mhm.
PS5 hasn't won up on that because what new thing is Xbox Series X gonna have? I don't know. Also, the biggest problem was with the Xbox One when I first showcased it was like it says your system does this that watch sports, do all this type of stuff, TV shows. I'm like, okay, we're in video games. Like they advertised that wrong, especially when they said you can't borrow your friend's game. You got to get a code and all that type of stuff. You need to be online 24/7. Like they shot themselves in the foot when they're seeing all those features before the system was even out. They screwed up all that. So bringing
Absolutely.
yeah, like not can't borrow friends. Like they already the system was already set up for failure anyway before it was even released. So now I feel as though they were also possibly waiting to have Sony reveal their price, but Sony did not reveal it. So now it's like now it's the pressure is on Xbox a little bit. Now I will definitely watch the showcase because like I said I like video games. I'm not a fanboy, and I have a soft spot for Nintendo. But Sony, I love my PS4, and there's already a decent amount of games I want on the PS5. So I'm already sold on the PS5. Xbox One, I mean Series X. I don't know. Like I said, I don't have any. I don't think anyone has faith in it, and that's the sad part. And that's why I feel as though, excuse me, Microsoft has more pressure on that because the fact that gamers already like not confident in your next system, it's like that's a problem. Because if this system flops, ooh, Microsoft like, granted, they're not going to be broke, but it's like people won't trust them if they're making another system. You can't have two bad systems in a row. You can't.
I
I don't
could
know.
entirely see them going the Sega route if this system flops.
Ooh, the Sega route.
Yeah, just becoming a publisher instead of becoming a console maker, and just make all the games for PC. Or I don't really see them bringing their games to PS4, but at the very least, I could see them just developing whatever Forza, Gears of War, Halo games on PC from the future. And maybe if it's like indie titles or games that aren't like super graphically intensive, maybe bringing it over to the Nintendo console. I think that's less likely, but Nintendo and Microsoft have had a good relationship as of late, so it's possible.
I mean, we are getting you can't do crossplay now on the PS4 and the Xbox One. So
Yeah, and I remember like 3 years ago, I had a long argument with one of my best friends over how Ori and the Blind. She wanted Ori and the Blind Forest to come to the Switch so bad, and I kept telling her there is no way in hell that game will ever come to the Switch in a million years. And lo and behold, it came to the Switch. So who knows?
yeah, who knows, man? I'm telling you, man. Like it almost feels like it kind of reminds me of Nintendo. Granted, not saying Nintendo was going rogue, but after the Wii U, that was a disappointment. That was a flop system. The Switch, they had pressure on the Switch, and the Switch delivered. Now this could be like a similar situation. Like Xbox One could definitely bounce up because here's the thing, when it was the 360, PS3, and the Wii, don't get me wrong, the Wii had its numbers, but like I had a 360 first before I got a PS3 because I mean there was a whole lot of games on the PS3, but the 360 there was a lot of great games on that system. Hell, you can make the argument that the 360 was the better system than the Xbox One.
Absolutely. I completely agree with that.
I'm not lying. I still have my 360 too. So I just I'm just a bit nervous for Microsoft. You know what I mean? Like I you gotta give me at least maybe 3 to 5 games that look interesting for me to buy your system. unless if you port it on the PS5. They'll be okay, fine. I'll get on the PS5 instead. Especially when it comes to fighting games. If you had like pretty much all the fighting games on the PS4 or on the Switch, nothing on Xbox One. Only a few, not a whole lot.
I mean,
So
they had Killer Instinct as an exclusive for a while, but I mean that's on PC now.
it's on
So
PC now too. Yeah, and that honestly, the only two games I get would be Halo and Killer Instinct. That's it. I don't have a problem with Gears of War, but I just didn't really. It's a good game, don't get me wrong, but like it just wasn't like it wasn't like I was like, oh my god, like it just wasn't my thing. It really wasn't. So yeah, I mean Xbox One I could probably most likely afford it now, but it's like just two games though. It's a waste to me, honestly. It really is.
mhm.
I can't think of anything else. But anyways, I don't know what you guys let me know what you guys think with the Xbox Series X showcase. But folks, that's it for this. I mean, like there really was a whole lot of gaming news, but it was the whole Evo event being canceled, the Seth Rogen CGI thing. Like I would like to, as you guys know, I want to talk about movies, anything that's going on in pop culture, not like pretty much when you see it, pretty much something you would see at a Comic Con, pretty much. That's what the podcast is going to be featured on, and I'll have different guests on here. It won't be the same guests because the people have different schedules, and I completely understand that. So, Corey, I want to say thank you for joining me because talking about yourself is like I'm used to it because I used to do my own radio show at my school, but it's like it's good to have that conversation with somebody, and then you ask them, "Hey, here's a question." Someone actually answer, whereas you're like doing it by yourself, like, "Hey, what do you guys think?" Quiet. I'm like Dora looking at the screen. Like I'm waiting for you guys to answer my question. Oh wait, you guys are not here. Yeah, I like that too.
Yeah. Oh, there was so many days of high school where the teacher tried to get a interaction with her students, and then it was just like nobody wanted to talk. So I can totally understand when to have someone else here, and I appreciate you having me on. I
Oh
really
no,
do.
definitely, man. Like I said, like want to get a whole lot of people on here in the future. Now, also Corey will also be featuring on gaming videos in the future because you have a PS4 or do you usually have a Switch?
I have a Switch, I have a PS4, and I have my computer.
Okay, so you will see Corey being featured on a lot of gaming videos in the future. I'm surprised that Mason doesn't have a PS4. I thought he would.
I can totally see Mason as the person who would be a PC master race kind of person,
Yeah.
especially since a lot of fighting games are ported over to the PC. I know for the most part he's mostly into fighting games as well.
Yeah, he definitely is. He definitely is. So like we'll have to do that Smash Brothers video. But one game that I would love if this game freaking comes out on the PS4 or the Switch, basically has a Switch. So like, I think we'd all get on the Switch. Is if we get a freaking Fantasy Star Online 2. I am so angry that's on Xbox One right now.
It's
I
on PC now.
it's on PC. Yeah, that's right. But yeah, that's right. That's
Uh,
right.
It's not the hardest game to run. I mean, it is a 2012 game.
Yeah.
Um, it's just harder to run on some of the higher graphic settings. Also, the original porting job was terrible. You would get like 10 frames a second in the lobby,
Uh,
but they've kind of fixed that by now. It's gotten a lot better. So and it's free to play, so you might as well just download it and see if you can get it running. Um,
keyword if.
yeah. So I would say going if you do eventually go into that game, don't go in expecting to play the sequel to Fantasy Star Online. Because when I went into the game expecting the sequel to Fantasy Star Online, I was honestly a little disappointed. I didn't think it was
Yeah.
all that good. But I switched over my classes and started using double sabers, and there was this one like basic special that starts the double saber. This called. Um, is a move that feels straight out of Dynasty Warriors. And I changed my mentality from, oh, I'm playing the sequel to Phantasy Star Online to, oh, I'm just playing another hack and slash game. And I immediately started enjoying the game a lot more. Because, like, I'm someone who can be very forgiving and honestly very fond of games that are maybe slower paced and clunky if it feels like it's deliberate or if it feels like it's a product of the time. So I feel like Phantasy Star Online is something that's a product of the time, and a game will never be made that feels like Phantasy Star Online again just because that game is so outdated. Or something like Dark Souls, which feels a little slower and clunky, but it feels so deliberate in the fact that it's slow and clunky. I really appreciate those games, and I feel like Phantasy Star Online Phantasy Star Online 2 went too much into trying to get rid of the whatever deliberateness that Phantasy Star Online 1 had. So I've been enjoying it. But to be honest, I've mostly just been playing it because I have a few friends who are super, super in love with it, and I just play it to spend time with them.
You would still prefer Blue Burst?
I absolutely would still prefer Blue Burst, and I still, to this day, spend quite a lot of time on Blue Burst. I play on Ephenia.
We'll never have to get into that as well too, because like I need to get a wire control because the one wire control I have from Xbox 360, the one button's kind of stuck on it. So like I need like another I need like a controller to connect to my computer because I still have to download Blue Burst on this computer that I have right now.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, like we get the crew together and play online. Like in my channel, you'll see co-op, us against each other. Now I am a big co-op fan. Like I am a co-op fiend when it comes to that type of game. So like I said, you will see Corey. You'll see different guests on my show. Like it'll be up to 4 people, it'll be up to 5 people, 6 people. I do want to do. Grant, I'm still currently playing this game. I do want to get together. People get together and talk about The Last of Us 2. Like I understand that's people are not liking it, but some people have been liking it. So I can't really. I don't want to. I'll leave that alone for the future. But I'll leave that for the future. But anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this this podcast. I appreciate you guys even taking the time to listen to me while you're going to work or eating dinner or driving to a friend's place or you're just sitting there chilling, bored with your headphones. I'm like, hey, let me listen to this podcast from Knuckles. You know what I mean? So one listen is it's enough because like I said, I'm just getting my hands dirty with this stuff, and I really love this. I really hope I really hope this gives something for me in the future. So, like I said, I really appreciate you guys listening. Corey, I appreciate you even like I said joining me on today's podcast. Like I said, I try to do this stuff like every weekend, so like either Friday, Saturday, or Sunday when I try to do this stuff.
Yeah, really appreciate you having me on. As long as I'm free to join, I would absolutely love to join.
All right, man. Most definitely. Well, guys, I hope you guys enjoy this podcast. You guys stay safe. I know COVID has definitely ruined this summer / well, 2020 is still going on, but COVID's definitely been an annoying part of this summer. But I hope you guys stay safe. Don't do anything stupid. Don't get your elderly people sick. Hell, don't get anyone sick. Because like I said, next thing I want to know is one of my friends is sick, and then they might infect me. I don't know. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed today's show. I'll see you guys next time. Take care.